Hi, my name is Gretchen Kother, and I'm here with Louise Hudson. We're with Lee County Federated Republican Women, and we're visiting with Yvette Herrell, who is the Republican candidate for Congressional District 2. So glad to have you, Yvette. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this opportunity.
Yvette, my question to you right now has to do with energy. We know that energy is extremely important to Congressional District 2, as well as New Mexico as a whole and our entire nation. What are your thoughts on this issue?
Great question, because it is such an important one for the state of New Mexico. Like you mentioned, over 40% of our revenues come from that one industry. And we've seen a downturn, not only because of COVID, but because of the market, the drop in the market. But we need to be doing everything that we can to protect those jobs. I am all about free markets and doing the best we can to provide the tools that our businesses need. My opponent voted for the Climate Now Act, which actually puts us as a country in line with the Paris Agreement. That will kill some of our energy jobs. In fact, if not most of them, if they go along with that. I am about protecting these jobs. My opponent voted to allow future presidents to ban fracking. We know that fracking is safe. It has been proven. And so we have got to push the federal government out of the way, get rid of some of these burdensome regulations that prohibit us from seeing our production levels high. And we see that when we did have pre-COVID production, we were at our highest level of production with the lowest emissions. And this is very important because our industry is using science and technology to create a better environment and have a lower carbon footprint. So I am all for our fossil fuels, our mining, obviously our oil and gas, and we've got to stand strong and not be a poser about protecting that industry, but really be a patriot and stand up for the men and women who go to the bat every day to keep our country going. And that's really where it's at, our energy. And I'm proud to support President Trump, who has said in his election cycle he wanted to be energy independent. He's trotting us right down that line. We will be there, but we've got to stand up and protect our extractive industries in the state of New Mexico.
I have a follow-up question for you. What about solar and wind energy? Is that important?
It is. Solar and wind, very important parts of our energy portfolio. And I know there are a lot of consumers who are using smaller bites and parts and pieces of solar and wind, as far as, the solar panels they're putting on their homes and that type of thing. The important thing is we can find a place to work together on some of this, but we have to be careful and make sure that we're not running to the Green New Deal for the answer for everything, something that is that prohibitive. And we have to be careful with that when we're putting policies together, that we're not going to saddle the end user, the consumer, with utility bills that they cannot afford. And right now, technology hasn't caught up with the idea of being able to have a sustainable, just solely wind or just solar energy. So we've got to be able to work together. They're all very important components to our energy platform, but we have to really protect our fossil fuels because they're used for so many more things than just starting the car, the oil and the gas that go in typical vehicles. People don't realize how much of our oil is used in products that we use every day, whether it's makeup, medical supplies, batteries, DOD equipment. So we have to be very thoughtful when we're putting policies together and ensure that we're not, cutting off our nose to spite our face by trying to eliminate one of our largest industries. But there's room for everybody at the table. Great question.
Thank you for explaining that to us.